everything was fine. Until it wasn't. Maybe it was a message you didn't expect. A phone call that shattered your assumptions. A betrayal you never saw coming. Or a slow unraveling, the kind where life erodes not with explosions, but with quiet, indifferent silence. In those moments, calm feels like a fairy tale. Peace feels like something for other people. All you feel is the tightening chest, the racing thoughts, the spiraling. And yet, the Stoics, those ancient, steel-minded philosophers, insist that peace is not only possible, but always available. Even in chaos. Especially in chaos. This video is not about pretending things aren't hard. It's not about numbing yourself or just thinking positive. This is about how you stand upright when everything in you wants to collapse. It's about clarity in fire. In this two-part series, we'll explore timeless Stoic techniques to remain centered when everything around you is crumbling. We'll dissect real-life examples, uncover the roots of our reactions, and learn to shift the only thing that Stoicism says we ever truly control, our response. And in the end of part 2, you'll see how even your worst moments, those you'd never ask for, can become fuel for transformation. But first, you have to earn your clarity. Let's begin with the collapse. Chapter 1: The Reality of Chaos. You may already be in the middle of it. The job loss. The relationship that ended with no closure. The diagnosis. The betrayal. Or maybe you're preparing for what you're afraid will come. This is not theoretical. When life shatters, it feels like the air itself turns against you. Your own mind becomes your worst enemy. And everything in you searches for a way out, a solution, a fix, anything to stop the pain. But the Stoics begin from a different premise: you do not need to escape the situation. You need to return to yourself. They believe that every external event, no matter how painful, is neutral. It's our interpretation that makes it unbearable. As Epictetus wrote, it's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Your pain is real. But your suffering? That's shaped by meaning. This might sound harsh at first. But it's actually a source of power. Because if it's your mind that interprets, it's your mind that can change the meaning. And in that space, you reclaim your calm. Chapter 2: The first principle: control what you can. When everything feels out of control, the first Stoic principle becomes non-negotiable. There are only two kinds of things. Those within your control. Those outside your control. Your thoughts, your actions, your intentions, yours. Other people's opinions, your past, fate, not yours. Seems obvious. But we live most of our lives reacting to what we don't control. And chaos magnifies that. Example. Consider Alex, a software engineer laid off after 10 years. No warning. No backup. 2 kids. A mortgage. Anxiety floods in. How could they do this? What if I can't find another job? Why me? Every one of those thoughts is centered on what's already happened or what might happen, things outside his control. But when he returns to the Stoic frame, the focus shifts. I lost my job. That's a fact. I cannot change that. But I can choose what I do next. I can choose how I show up for my family today. I can decide what story I tell myself about this moment. From that place, you move. You plan. You act not from panic, but from intention. Chapter 3: You are not your thoughts. Chaos doesn't just happen outside. It invades the mind. Worry, regret, anger, fear, they swirl, combine, distort. But here's the Stoic insight: your thoughts are not you. They are visitors. Not rulers. Marcus Aurelius, writing to himself during war, disease, and betrayal, repeated a truth we forget in panic. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When the storm inside you rises, pause. Watch the thoughts. Don't believe them. Don't fight them. Watch. This is not a trick. This is a practiced stillness. practical tool: when your mind is spinning, do this. Stop and name your emotion aloud. Ask, is this feeling based on a fact or a story? Ask, is this within my control? Then act intentionally, not reactively. Repeat this like a ritual. Not once. Not twice. But until it becomes your habit. Because habits, not willpower, determine who you are when life collapses. Chapter 4: The Role of Voluntary Discomfort. Here's a truth most people avoid. Calm is not built in safety. It's forged in discomfort. The Stoics practiced discomfort on purpose. They would sleep on hard beds, walk barefoot in winter, fast, speak without status. Why? Because they knew that fear of discomfort is the real prison, not the discomfort itself. Seneca wrote, "Set aside now and then a number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, and say to yourself, is this what I used to dread? When life collapses, it drags you into discomfort. But if you've trained in it, you don't panic." Example. During the early days of the pandemic, some people spiraled. Others, those who had practiced solitude, delayed gratification, simplicity, adapted faster. They weren't special. They were trained. What you rehearse in peace, you execute in chaos. So start now, sleep a little less comfortably. Walk without headphones. Skip a meal with intention. You're not punishing yourself. You're preparing to remain calm when comfort disappears. Chapter 5: Your identity must not depend on outcomes. Most people suffer not because of what happened, but because of what they believe it says about them. I failed, so I am a failure. I was left, so I am unlovable. I lost everything, so I am nothing. But the Stoics saw identity differently. You are not your outcomes. You are your character. You are your principles. Your actions, your mindset, your virtue, this is you. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of the known world. He also lost 8 children, led wars, survived plagues, and had a power-hungry wife and corrupt officials. And yet, in his private writings, he returns to one idea again and again. If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it is unendurable, stop complaining. Your dignity depends on it. Not your wealth. Not your position. Your dignity. So when everything falls apart, the question is not, how do I fix this? The question is, what kind of person am I in this moment? That is your calm. That is your power. Chapter 6: The Power of Pause. In the moment of impact, when the message hits, when the silence arrives, when the punch is thrown, you want to react. But Stoics insert a pause. A breath. A question. A step back. This is where your clarity lives. Train yourself, before you respond, breathe and ask. What would the wise version of me do? Will this matter in 5 years? Am I choosing reaction or response? The more you train the pause, the less power chaos has over you. Ending part 1 of The Cliff Before the Climb. You've now seen the foundation, control, identity, discomfort, and the pause. You've seen how Stoicism doesn't remove the storm, but teaches you how to remain still within it. But here's the truth: this is only half the story. Staying calm isn't just survival. It's not about deadpan numbness or tolerating misery with a stone face. That's not Stoicism. That's repression. True Stoic calm? It's alive. It's rich. It's full of energy. And most importantly, it turns pain into power. In part 2, we go deeper. We'll explore how to transform suffering into fuel. How to use Stoic journaling as a mental weapon. Why fate is not your enemy, but your ally. And the ultimate Stoic question that makes even tragedy meaningful. You've learned how to stand still in the collapse. Now, you'll learn how to rise from it. See you in part 2. Recap and re-entry. In part 1, we explored how Stoicism builds the foundation for calm amidst collapse. You are not your thoughts. You must control only what's truly yours, your choices. Voluntary discomfort trains the soul for impact. Identity is anchored in character, not outcomes. Stillness starts with a pause. But if you've come this far, then you don't just want survival. You want meaning. You want power. You want to take the wreckage of your life and not just endure it, but transform because of it. That's what we're about to do. Let's step into the next phase of Stoicism, not resisting the fall, but rising because of it. Chapter 7, Turning Suffering into Fuel. The Stoics didn't just tolerate suffering, they used it. To them, every challenge was a test of virtue. Every pain was an invitation to rise. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. This is one of the most radical ideas in Stoicism. Obstacles are not interruptions. They are the path itself. Let's break this down. Situation: you were betrayed. Left alone. Lied to. Your first instinct is to see this as harm. Unfairness. Setback. But the Stoic response is different. It asks, how can this strengthen my integrity? What is this teaching me about attachment, pride, or need? How can I act with courage, not bitterness? Suddenly, the betrayal becomes a mirror. The loneliness becomes a furnace. The lie becomes a filter that exposes who you can trust and who you can't. Your suffering is not wasted if it teaches you who you are. And when you frame every hardship like this, you reclaim ownership over it. It's no longer something that happened to you. It's something happening for you because of who you choose to become through it. Chapter 8, Stoic Journaling, the Mental Weapon. Every Stoic had one secret weapon. It wasn't philosophy books or debates. It wasn't perfect speeches. It was a journal. Marcus Aurelius never meant to publish meditations. It was a private battlefield. Epictetus insisted students write and reflect every day. Seneca crafted letters to a friend as a way to explore his own mind. Why? Because the human mind is too chaotic to trust when left unchecked. Journaling is how you observe your mind, not become it. Your practice, the Stoic Evening Review. Every night, ask, what did I do well today? Where did I lose control? Why? What emotion dominated me today, and what did it teach me? What can I do better tomorrow? No filters. No pity. No shame. Just truth. Over time, this builds clarity, pattern recognition, strength. And most importantly, it stops the chaos of life from becoming chaos inside. Stoicism begins in the journal before it shows up in action. Chapter 9, The Acceptance of Fate. Most people try to wrestle with reality. This shouldn't have happened. I can't believe it's like this. This isn't fair. But the Stoics had a phrase for radical, full-bodied acceptance. Amor, Fati, love of fate. Not tolerate fate. Not accept fate. Love fate. This is a brutal idea if misunderstood. It does not mean liking tragedy or enjoying injustice. It means recognizing that resistance to reality adds more pain, while embracing it gives you power. Example. A father loses his son. He grieves deeply. But in grief, he finds strength. He begins to mentor others. He turns sorrow into service. He honors the life by how he lives his own. That's not numbness. That's not detachment. That's Amor Fati in action. The Stoic says, this has happened. I did not choose it. But I will choose my response. And if I am to live through this, I will love what it makes of me. Chapter 10, The Role of Death, Remember You Will Die. It sounds dark, but it's liberating. The Stoics meditated on death constantly. Not to fear it, but to sharpen life. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Marcus Aurelius. When things fall apart, our panic often comes from illusions that this will last forever, that we've lost everything, that we're running out of time to be whole again. But in remembering death, perspective returns. That failed relationship? It stings. But is it worth losing yourself over? That missed opportunity? Painful. But is it really the end or just a turn? That shame from the past? Heavy. But will it matter when your last day comes? The Stoic does not deny death. The Stoic brings it close and in doing so, gains clarity about what matters now. You want to stay calm? Start remembering that your time is short. Suddenly, you'll stop wasting it. Chapter 11: What Virtue Looks Like in Pain. Virtue is the Stoic's North Star. When all else fails, this is what guides action. Wisdom, to see clearly. Courage, to act with strength. Temperance, to remain measured. Justice, to treat others rightly. Let's make it real. You're abandoned by someone you trusted. Virtue asks, will you become bitter or will you forgive, not for them, but for your own peace? You're financially broken. Virtue asks, will you take shortcuts, cheat, or manipulate? Or will you rebuild with honesty? You're humiliated publicly. Virtue asks, will you retaliate or hold your dignity? The Stoic calm is not passive. It's active. It's choosing virtue when your emotions beg you to betray it. Chapter 12: Service, the calm that comes from purpose. When your world falls apart, it's easy to turn inward. Self-pity. Isolation. Obsession with your own pain. But the Stoics believed in service not as martyrdom, but as medicine. We were born for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids. Marcus Aurelius. Helping someone else even in small ways reconnects you with your strength. It reminds you that your pain isn't the center of the universe. And in giving others your presence, you become more present. Example. During World War II, psychiatrist Viktor Frankl lost his family in a concentration camp. He was tortured, starved, humiliated. And yet, he later wrote, suffering ceases to be suffering the moment it finds a meaning. He survived, in part, by helping other prisoners, listening to them, encouraging them. And later, he built his life around that, helping others find meaning. Stoic calm isn't built by retreating from the world. It's built by re-entering it wiser, softer, stronger. Chapter 13: The Stoic Question That Transforms Pain. When the collapse happens, ask this. What is this moment calling me to become? Not why did this happen to me? Not when will it end? But who must I be in this? This question cuts through noise. It focuses you not on pain, but potential. Not on fear, but on growth. Maybe the breakup is calling you to become self-anchored. Maybe the loss is calling you to become a comfort to others. Maybe the betrayal is calling you to become unshakably honest. This is not motivational fluff. It is a framework. And it's the difference between being crushed by your life and being carved into something unforgettable by it. Ending, the final stillness. You've made it through. You've seen that calm in collapse isn't a gift. It's not genetic. It's not just how some people are. It's a discipline. It's trained stillness. Fierce clarity. Deep service. Relentless virtue. And when it all falls apart again, and you'll know exactly what to do. You'll pause. You'll return to yourself. You'll ask what this moment requires of you. And you'll rise. Not perfectly. Not painlessly. But with peace, not because things are easy, but because you are steady. That's the Stoic way. Now go live it.